Ja, herzlich willkommen im Stadion Rheinau Bonn hier am Samstag, den 24. Juni. Wir machen heute einen kleinen Mix in Englisch und Deutsch. Das meiste wird in Englisch sein. Neben mir John Kümpers, ich, Angela Beckmann, werde auch mit kommentieren. Neben mir Max Paulus, der die Regie macht wie immer. Und an der Kamera Felix Hauke. Ja, also Abendspiel. Die Bonn Capitals werden die nächsten 3 Wochen, die nächsten 3 Samstage Abendspiele zu Hause haben. Heute gegen die Berlin Flamingos. Ähm, Sonne ist noch voll da. Wird für die Outfielder nicht so ganz einfach. Die gucken nämlich immer in die Sonne. Da wir schon gleich anfangen werden, kurz die Line-Up der Berlin Flamingos. Centerfielder Patrick Kursawa, Rightfielder Clement Esteban, Third Baseman Michael Atzkui, First Baseman Gabriel Tovar, DH Luis Savor, Left Fielder Carlos Jimon, Second Base Max Esteban, Catcher Chongo Rivera und Shortstop Nico Canapin. Und Starting Pitcher für Berlin Flamingos wird Joshua Spezia sein. Und der John übernimmt jetzt kurz die Line-Up für Bonn.
Yeah, and welcome to those who are viewing on our live stream. A beautiful Saturday evening. It's good to be back. It's been a while since I've been behind or in the broadcasting booth, and now we're in the broadcasting booth on the third base line. And in the field for the Bonn Capitals are the following players. Of course, shortstop Eric Blank. Well, let me go with the battery first. Our starting pitcher this evening is going to be Sasha Koch. Behind the plate, Vinny Ollins with his throw down to second base as we will be beginning this game soon. Playing first base this evening
will be Tara Joyce, but right now it's Toru Murata, but he will be off the field in a second.
All right. As I was looking over there, I said, that doesn't look like Terrell. Not as I know him. Second baseman today will be Dan Lamb Hunt. Shortstop, as I said at the beginning, Eric Brank. The first pitch from Sasha Koch on its way. And leading off is Patrick Kurzawa, who takes the first pitch, hits it to the shortstop. Fielded cleanly, thrown to first base cleanly. First out of the game already. A one pitch, one down. Sasha Koch.
That was fast.
That was fast.
Stimmt.
That's Patrick Kurzawa, the center fielder.
No, the interesting thing here, Toru Murata, our new pitcher, had to do the game here, the catch.
Okay.
Didn't expect that, probably.
No, yeah. And now Terrell Joyce has entered the game. And that brings up Clement Esteban, the right fielder for the Flamingos. A little background story here. If you have not been watching this Bundesliga North season, a little bit of a surprise if you're a Bonn Capitals fan, knowing that in the past they've always been at the top of the table and usually quite easily. But it's a struggle. It's been a struggle this year. The pitching core has had its problems, and Sasha Koch throws ball one, and that has given the chance for Paderborn and Hamburg to enter the fray here, and it's a close battle at the top of the table. Capitals do have everything, the cards in their hands. If they win out, they'll win the Northern Division, the Northern League. But Paderborn and the Hamburg Steelers are waiting for a slip-up, and they're hoping that the Flamingos will provide that. And the Flamingos have a small chance still to make it into the playoffs, but those are very minimal chances. The count goes to 1-2 to the right fielder, Clement Esteban. Koch gets the sign and foul down the first baseline. A nice grab there from the Bonn Capital dugout. If the left fielder, center fielder will have their struggles today. The sun will be shining right in their eyes. Also, just the left side of the infield, will have fewer problems, but on pop-ups. And that pitch is low. It's 2-2 count now.
Yeah, we have seen that, the Capitals 2 weeks ago were at the Champions Cup, and at one of the ballparks, it was with the low sun, it was very difficult for the players.
Yeah. That pitch is high, and count goes full to the right fielder for the Flamingos, number 79, Clement Esteban. A lot of chatter. We're right above the Flamingos dugout. Payoff pitch, and that is lined to right field for base hit. And Esteban rounds first base, and that's the first base runner, first base hit of the game. Runner now on first base for the team from the capital, not the Capitals, but the new German capital, hardly new anymore. Oh, some traffic on the base paths, runner on first base, and that brings up Michael Escui, playing third base today. That first pitch is low from Sasha Koch. Oh, Escui with a sound batting average, 328 so far this season. Yeah, there's a visit to the mound early on in this game. See if Sasha Koch doing okay, or is there control problems that they're talking about. Umpire was out there quickly. Usually the home plate umpire will give a little bit of time for them to talk about issues, and that's going to be all. That's the end of a very short pitching performance from Sasha Koch.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking, Sasha is struggling a little bit with his health this season. He missed some games already. I mean, only little things, not to risk anything.
Yeah.
So obviously today he tried and is not satisfied.
Oh. It's going to bring in relief pitcher. You could say almost that Sasha Koch was playing the opener role, even if that wasn't the intent. We'll be waiting for a relief pitcher to come on. Here he comes from the
That will be probably Titus von Kapf. Von Kapf.
A bit of a surprise.
I mean, he was starting pitcher when Sasha was not in shape. Not in shape is not true, but when he was not completely healthy. So Titus knows the situation.
Yep.
But of course, when you start a game, it's different from coming in the first inning,
Yeah.
So.
Titus van Kapf, new addition to the team this year, will come in after one out in the top half of the first inning. And he'll be given ample time to warm up since Sasha Koch had left on an injury. First couple of throws from next to the mound before he'll then go onto the mound. Yeah. Oh, we have the outfielders dashing in from getting out from the sun, understandably, moving into the shade as trees along the first base line are providing moving across the infield, the shadows. And we'll get to a point possibly that the pitcher will be in the shadows and the batter won't be. It's never easy for batters.
Yeah, it's really a pity. And it's a difficult situation for Titus because he's not completely warmed up now.
No.
So obviously. So
Yeah, as I said, he will be given all the time he needs to warm up. The infielders also throwing the ball around. Let's take a look at the remainder of the position players on the Capitals. Start from the beginning. First base is Terrell Joyce. The second baseman is Dan Lamb Hunt. Shortstop Eric Branken. Playing third base is Daniel Sanchez. Going to left field, Phildrick Llewellyn. The center fielder today is Danny Lankhorst, and Anthony Glinzing playing in right field. And at the plate, when the game resumes, is Michael Ascui, the third baseman for the Berlin Flamingos. He's batting .328 this season, and there's already a runner on first base. Clement Esteban reached on a line drive to right field. If you're just joining us, you might be wondering, has the game started? It has. There's a runner on first base, but Sascha Koch left the game after 1 out, 1/3 of an inning, having had various ailments and injuries this season, and he couldn't go on. Titus van Kapp is now on the mound. Some comments from the German commentators, field callers here, that he would get all the time he needs to warm up, and that would, my understanding is correct.
yeah, the scorer just said that, and the umpire cannot tell him how many.
Yeah.
So.
Well, looking at the stats.
Yeah. Just to finish this.
Yeah.
In order to warm up properly, the pitcher has all time he needs. Otherwise, he has the risk to hurt himself.
Sure. So Titus van Kapp has started 5 games, and he basically is starting yet another game today, even though he comes in having inherited 1 runner and already 1 out in the early phase of the game. First inning, top half. He's pitched 34 innings. Has a 3.71 ERA. 1-3 record. Although the ERA looks good, it's certainly not a bad ERA, but the run support has been lacking at times. But as the warm-up continues. The warming up is something that you don't do as a pitcher in a matter of 1 or 2 minutes. When it is apparent during the game that a pitcher may be used, they go to the bullpen and they're pitching for a number of minutes, number of innings most of the time before there's even any contemplation or thought about being used. So a long time out, but now Michael Ascui has entered batter's box. What's the count as we enter?
It's 0-2 as far as I know.
It's an 0-2 count.
It does not show here in the scoreboard, but
okay.
I think it's no, it's a No, I think it's a 2-0.
2-0, that's right, yeah. Looking at the scoreboard out in the outfield, it's 2-1 now. That was the first pitch from Titus van Kaap, in for a strike. And there's a fly ball to shallow right field, caught by Anthony Klinzing for the second out of the inning. Also a quick out for the new pitcher, just like the first out of this game for the original pitcher. Sasha Koch was fast. And that will bring up the cleanup hitter, Gabriel Tovar, first baseman for the Flamingos, wearing number 90, right-handed hitter. A lot of chatter down below. And first pitch taken for strike one. Oh, the Spaniard, he's hitting .346. Has one home run to his credit this season. 14 RBIs, leading the Flamingos. Throw over to first. As Esteban dives back in safely. Oh, if you are good at Spanish, you feel comfortable speaking Spanish, he'd be comfortable around the Berlin Flamingos dugout. A lot of Spaniards, Venezuelans particularly, in the Berlin squad. My guess is that's because Normal, although a German citizen, is he not originally from Venezuela?
Yes.
Oh. Lead off first base, moderate. Pitch comes in. That's a ground ball through the middle and gets out to center field, and the runner stops at second base. So some more traffic on the base paths, first and second. 2 hits already in this game for the Flamingos. And that brings up Louis Sabor, who's DHing today. Fouls that one off. Oh, Sayol, not Sabor. Sayol DHing, batting .189 this season. No home runs to his credit. 3 RBIs. Right-handed hitter. Down 0-1 on the count. 2 outs. Top half of the first inning. Titus van Kaap has entered the game after 1 out. Sasha Koch had to leave. Was not feeling well. Counts 1-1. Next pitch, fastball to the second baseman. Throws over to first. And so, although 2 runners reach base on 2 hits, no damage done, and Capitals will be coming to the plate in the bottom half of the first. This is Caps Television. Oh, we're back in the final to the bottom half of the first inning. Looking at the lineup for the Capitals, the first three batters. Yeah, leading off as usual the last few years, Eric Blank, the shortstop. He'll be followed by Terrell Joyce, home run threat, and Wilson Lee, also a home run threat, is the DH. Eric Blank is in the batter's box. And Joshua Spezia throws the first pitch. Ball low, ball one.
Yeah, Eric is one of the top pitchers of the Capitals so far this season.
Yeah.
Very constantly hitting.
Fine batting average, 375. So he's up there in the stratosphere category like Luis Elias in Major League Baseball. And then he takes strike. Strike two. I believe the count is 1-2, not what it says on the outfield scoreboard, and he fouls that one back. Oh, Spezia got himself a decent fastball. Oh, Eric Blank as a leadoff hitter. No home runs yet, but 9 stolen bases. And he comes in with a change of speed. That's high.
Yeah, 2-2 the count right now.
I was going to say, not 7-2. We see on the outfield scoreboard. There, it's now 2-2. That ball's also high. Count goes full to Eric Blank. Joshua Spezia, looking at his numbers, he's got a 5.68 ERA. His record 0-3 so far this season. Goes with the fastball, just a tad too soon as a foul ball down the third base line. Count will stay full, 3-2 to the leadoff hitter for the Capitals. 5 doubles for Eric Blank this season. Only a small number of strikeouts, just 7. Payoff pitch comes, and a good one to foul that one back. That was just a little bit outside, but too hard to tell if that was going to be touching the corner of the plate. Good hitter will foul that one back. And you get another chance. 3-2 count still, full count. Spezia gets the sign. Pitch comes. There's another fastball.
Good
fouled.
battle here. Good battle from Eric.
A lot of pitches for that first batter already. Behind the plate is Chico Rivera for the Flamingos. Playing first base, Gabriel Tova. Second baseman, Max Esteban. That payoff pitch comes. And another foul ball. Second baseman for the Flamingos is Max Esteban. Nico Canapin, the shortstop. Third baseman is Michael Atscui. In left field, Carlos Quimon. The center fielder, Patrick Rosawa. And in right field, Clement Esteban. Oh, another payoff pitch. And he lines that one into left field. And that gets to the gap. And that goes to the wall. Eric Blank has himself a stand-up double to lead off the game for the Capitals. I forced Spezia to give him a pitch to hit, fouling off numerous pitches at the full count, and then he lines that one to the left center field wall, and he's at second base for Terrell Joyce. Terrell Joyce at the plate for the Capitals. The team leading 6 home runs this season. Batting average 381. Second pitch. Called ball 2. Joshua Spezia a little unhappy with that call. Oh, the count goes to 2-0. Eric Blank with a good lead off of second base. He'll not be running, not with nobody out, and Terrell Joyce at the plate. Man who could bring him home with one swing of the bat over the fence. And there's a pop-up. Careful there. Count goes now to 2-1 for Terrell Joyce. As I said, he has 6 home runs this season. He was named the player of the week after hitting 2 home runs against the Steelers in last weekend's doubleheader. And there's a grounder to the shortstop. He can't field it cleanly, so Eric Brank advances to third. And Terrell Joyce is safe at first on an error. E6, we'll call that one. Oh, Terrell Joyce will give the base E6.
Im Moment nicht, danke.
And 1-2 pitch comes. He checks just in time. Ball gets away. Terrell Joyce can advance as the catcher can't pick it up cleanly. Oh. Wild pitch. Call that one to get Terrell Joyce down to second base. Oh, now runners on in scoring position at second and third base. A tough start here for the Flamingos. Fouls that one back. 11 RBIs for Wilson Lee this year. Well, Dan Lamb Hunt is leading the team with RBIs. He has 27. Close behind him, Terrell Joyce with 24. Wilson Lee could pick himself up a couple. There's a line drive down the left field line. Next to the corners, 2 runs are going to score. Wilson Lee is going to reach second base, a stand-up double. 3 hitters, 3 base runners, 2 runs, 2 RBIs for the DH, Wilson Lee.
Yeah, as I said, he's back. So last weekend he has shown that he's back offensively.
2 RBIs. An important piece of the Capitals puzzle, Wilson Lee. He continues to keep up his hitting this way. That's what the Capitals need. And that brings up Dan Lamb Hunt. Runner on second base, Wilson Lee. Nobody out. 2 runs already across the plate. There's a fastball down the middle, strike 1. Lamb Hunt with 5 home runs this year. He's been hit by a pitch 3 times. And that's called ball. Ball 1. And that last hit by Wilson Lee right over the third baseman's head. I don't know if the third baseman saw it. He's looking right in the sun. Looked like it might have been reachable, but nevertheless, curveball. It's called strike 2. Wondering about that call. Lamb Hunt steps out, steps back into the batter's box. Wilson Lee on second base. Fouls that one back, Lamb Hunt. If you're just joining us, the score is 2-0 already for the Capitals as they look to solidify their lead on first place in the North League of the Bundesliga in baseball as they battle battling at the moment with the Paderborn Untouchables and Hamburg Steelers. And he reaches out and he puts that one into right center field, and Wilson Lee, not the speediest of players, but easily reaches home plate.
Yeah.
And there's yet another run. 3-0 on a single by Lamb Hunt.
Yeah, the Capitals are, Paderborn is close to them, but Paderborn lost one game against Doren today.
Okay. Yeah,
so that gives, right now, the Capitals a 2-game lead.
Yeah.
But of course, they have to see that they win today and tomorrow.
They do their homework today.
Yeah.
Then things are looking very good for the defending champions. And there's a shot to the center field right at him, though. Dan Lamb Hunt runs back there. Good throw there by the center fielder. Back to first base, but so that's one pitch. Vinny Arons flies out to the center fielder. A sharp line drive, and it brings up Anthony Klinzing, wearing number 1, the right fielder.
Yeah, the youngster had he came back from college for the semester break, and he had a very good start into the season just some weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so he made it to the starting lineup.
Yeah, he's 21 at-bats so far this season. He's hitting .429, and that's good reason to put him in the starting lineup. He has 1 home run already. It's 7 RBIs. And runner goes Lamb Hunt, and no throw because the ball gets away from the catcher. Oh, Lamb Hunt with a stolen base. One out. Now a runner in scoring position at second base for Klinzing. Next pitch comes. Off speed, curveball, strike. Oh, the count goes to 1-2. In the bottom half of the first inning, the Capitals have already plated 3 runs. Looking to tack on to that. 1 out. Runner on second base. Joshua Spezia gets the side. Pitch on its way. Fastball fouled back. The count remains 1-2. From the stretch, and throws heat pass. Anthony Klinzing for strikeout, second out of the inning. And now Danny Lankhorst coming to the plate, batting .329. Well, basically the whole Capital lineup batting above 300. Vinny Arons, the only exception at the moment.
Yeah, Danny is a very constant hitter this season.
Yeah.
He has always his 1, 2, 3 hits, per game.
Yeah. The curveball called strike 1. Spezia looks to get out of this inning with no more damage. 0-1 pitch, 2 outs. Another curveball, and that's foul out of play. The count now goes to 0-2 against the center fielder. Well, number 37 waits for another pitch and pulled the string on that one. Good pitch there by Spezia. Strikes out Danny Lankhorst to end the inning, but not before 3 runs come across the plate for the Bonn Capitals. And so after 1 full inning of play, it's 3-0 for your Capitals. This is Caps TV.
So, ich bekomme also gerade die Information von unseren Softball-Ladies, dass die erste Bingo-Runde offiziell beendet ist. Alle, die noch träumen hoffen, können ihre Karten jetzt zerreißen. Die zweite Runde startet sofort. Wer also wieder mitspielen möchte, drüben bei den Mädels die Karten für 5 Euro. Diesmal geht es dann noch um den zweiten Preis. Das war, glaube ich, das Frühstück. So, hier unten geht's weiter.
We're back in the Iowa Stadium. Going to the top half of the second inning. Stepping into the batter's box is number 6, Carlos Quimon, the left fielder. And Quimon in the number 6 slot, batting .255 this season. He has 2 home runs. Is actually leading the Flamingos in that category. Well, he has some pop in his bat. And Titus Van Kapp has come in after 1/3 of the first inning and has performed wonderfully. He's gotten ahead on the count here, 0-2. And there's a high shot there going to right field at the warning track. Ball is caught, so a little bit of a scare.
Anthony Rodriguez-Klinsing caught the ball.
Good play there by Klinsing. Didn't have to battle the sun too much as a right fielder, but nevertheless, still going to be a problem for almost all the players. That brings up the next batter for the Flamingos. That's going to be Max Esteban, the second baseman. He squares the bunt. So Max Esteban hits a one bouncer to the second baseman, Lamb Hunt. He throws to first, and we have 2 outs quickly already in the top half of the second inning. And that's going to bring up Chongo Rivera, the catcher. Looking to go 1-2-3, and that pitch called strike 1. Well, Chongo Rivera batting 160, looking to up his average as count goes now. I'm sorry, the count is 2-0, not 1-1. Oh, Titus Van Cup. And there's a strike. It's 2-1 count. Okay. Thought it was 1-2. Off-speed pitch. That's low. Count goes now to 3-1. Chungo Lavela has drawn 6 bases on ball. 2-2. Nah. I thought so.
3-1.
Nope, it's 2-2. Now it's 3-2. Well, our outfield scoreboard was getting ahead of itself in the balls category. Now it's 3-2 and falling behind on the count. A payoff pitch here from Van Kopf to Rivera. And swing and a miss, and we got 1, 2, 3 as the Flamingos go down in order. And after 1.5 innings of play, the score is 3-0 for the Bonn Capitals. This is Caps TV. Well, we're heading to the bottom half of the second inning. The home team Capitals leading 3-0. Our right-handed pitcher Spezia ready. And stepping into the plate will be third baseman to lead off the bottom half of the second, Daniel Sanchez. Daniel Sanchez batting .274 this season. Not a bad batting average, to be honest. Compared to his teammates, a little bit at the bottom end of batting averages. One thing that Daniel Sanchez doesn't do is he doesn't strike out very much. Only 2 strikeouts this season. A good eye. And here's a grounder to the shortstop, Canapin, whose throw is scooped out of the dirt. And that's the first out of the inning. Canapin to Tovar for the first out of the inning. And stepping to the plate is left fielder, also from the right side, Fildrick Llewellyn, playing his first season for the Capitals. Fildrick Llewellyn batting .316 with 3 home runs this season. And he almost corkscrewed himself into the ground on that swing. Woo! Oh, a man who likes to swing for the fence, and he has 3 home runs to speak for it. Now he turns the bunt, pulls back, low pitch, and the count goes to 1-1. Oh, Michael Ascoe has to decide whether he's going to move in a little bit after that threat. And next pitch, sign of a bunt, outside. Count goes to 2-1. Oh, the 2-1 pitch. 1 out already. Fastball is called strike 2. Counts even, 2-2. Llewellyn a little slow on that one, and he goes down swinging. Meaning we will go to this top of the lineup with Eric Blank stepping in. He led off the game for the Capitals with a double, come around to score on Wilson Lee's double. First pitch is ball. There's a curveball called strike. Oh. Falls behind in the count, 0-2. He pops that one foul, out of play. Heads up over there on the first base side. That count stays 0-2. One and 2 the count. That one's in the dirt and evens the count, 2-2. To the Capital shortstop. Well, Eric Brank leading the league in hits. He has 31 now after that first inning double. That pitch is outside. As count goes full. Eric Brank also not afraid to draw a walk. 13 total walks this season. And that pitch is called ball inside. Oh! After falling behind in the count, Eric Brank battles back to take a base on balls. To Terrell Joyce, the Capitals' first baseman. And it's a high fly ball. It's behind shortstop. Canopin under it and collects it for the third out of the inning. Oh, after 2.5 innings of play, the Capitals are leading 3-0.
Danke an Science Powered by DM an die Deutsche Telekom, die Stieg GmbH, Dr. Schutz GmbH, Käfer Construction, das Licht aus Enzinger und die Sparkasse Köln-Bonn. Danke an alle Unterstützer des Sports.
Third inning. And leading off is shortstop Nico Canopin. Canopin batting .200 this season. In the number 9 slot, shortstop takes ball 1 inside. Ball 2. The shortstop gets ahead on the count. Pitch comes from Kep. That was a strike. Count is 3-1. And there's a swing, and count now is full to the shortstop. Was way off on that swing. Yeah. Flamingo shortstop fouls that one back. Stays in this struggle with Von Kapp. Next pitch comes. Fouls that one back, and showing some fight here at the plate. Full count to number 54, right-handed hitter. Has 12 total hits this season. And there's a little squibber down the third base line, and that goes foul.
Sanchez wartet da bis zur letzten Sekunde und dann pitcht der Ball dankenswerterweise ins Foul-Territorium.
Oh. Slow walk back to home plate. After having run all the way down the first base line for nothing. Oh. When he steps back into the batter's box, it's a 3-2 count waiting for him. Capitals pitcher Von Kapp delivers, and he draws a walk to him. He had to come off the mound, but it was a little too hard.
It was tight, though.
Yeah, but good heads-up play there to get the lead runner. So that will go down as a fielder's choice. A runner on first base again, but this time now is Kurosawa. And left-handed hitter Clement Esteban comes to the plate. He had a single in his first at-bat. Throw to first, and Kurosawa dives back in. The 0-1 count, one out. There's some heat there, and there's a foul. Eric Brank, Eric Brank a tad bit too far away, and hard play for the third baseman to make. Oh, count goes to 0-2.
Especially with the sun in their eyes. So.
Yeah. Another chance for Esteban. 0-2 count, one out. Runner on first base for the Flamingos. Kapp delivers. Another pop up. That one out of play down the left field line, and whoa! Close. Took a big bounce. Wouldn't have been able to see that on our live stream. Capitals scored 3 runs in the bottom half of the first inning. Jump out to a quick lead. We're in the top half of the third. Throw over to first base. And Titus Von Kapp has now pitched 2 innings complete. First out of the game by Sascha Koch, but he left after pitching to 2 batters. And in came Titus Von Kapp, who has now pitched wonderfully. Is ahead on the count to Clement Esteban. 0-2. Kurosawa with the lead. Another foul ball. Von Kapp is delivering fastball after fastball, and Esteban not able to keep up with it, but fouling him back and staying alive. his gloves. That took a while. Esteban now back in the batter's box. 0-2 pitch. And there's a line shot to second. And out at second, lead runner safe at first base. Oh, Kurzawa is thrown out at second, and Esteban takes his place on first base. Another fielder's choice. That'll bring up Berlin's best hitter, Michael Escudi. Third baseman flew out to the right fielder in his first at-bat. Number 77. And first pitch is a ball. Another throw to, and that one gets away from Terrell Joyce, and that'll give Clement Esteban the chance to go to second. So an error, have to call that an error on the first baseman. He let that one get away. Touched his glove, hit his glove, but he didn't close it in time. Rolled to the fence and allowed Esteban to advance to second. So now a runner on in scoring position for the Flamingos. 2 outs. Van Kapp looks at second. Delivers a pitch. Swing and a miss. And the count goes to 1-1. Capitals fans in large numbers again, as usual. The Berlin section a little smaller. Long drive, about 6 hours if you're going to drive Berlin, 5 to 6 hours. Same if you take a train. Good play there by Vinny Arns. Ball in the dirt. He kept it in underneath him, you could say. He found it quickly. No chance for Esteban to go to third base. Count now 2-1. Pitch to from Van Kapp, and that one's fouled back. Michael Escudi now with a 2-2 count. UK citizen, Escudi. Two and two pitch, 2 outs, runner on second, lots of twos out there, and the runner goes, and the play was a bang play, but second base umpire called him safe. Daniel Sanchez made a diving tag. Also saw it a little late that the runner was going. So now a runner on third base. Van Kapp had a good strong throw over to third, but had to wait for Daniel Sanchez to get a little closer, and I think that hesitation was all that Clement Esteban needed for the headfirst slide into third base. And so runner on third base now. And count goes full. A lot of chatter from the dugout below us. We're on top of the Berlin dugout. A payoff pitch. Runner on third base, and that one's high. And that'll be a walk. 3-2, sorry. Thought that was the payoff pitch. It is. That was a walk. Okay. Michael thought he had another chance. Oh. And now runners on first and third. That'll bring up Gabriel Tova, the first baseman. He got a single in his first at bat. And he's batting, entering the game, batting 346. And there's a grounder foul down the third base line. Oh, 1 for 1 today, Tova. Looking to drive in at least one run for the guests from Berlin. Runners on the corners. That curveball is called strike. 0-2 now to the big man. The Spaniard has one lone homer to his name. There's a run that Ascui ran, but he'll go back to first. Foul ball. The count remains 0-2. The Flamingos are stealing bases to advance their runners. And why not try and get that runner on first base into scoring position? Because a hit would. And there's a changeup. Tova has to make light contact. He fouls it over the first base dugout. Now, count remains 0-2. He's in the hole. And there's a pop-up heading over towards just a little bit behind us. Oh, Van Kampf.
Long at bats here.
Long at bat. Had a couple of those already. Heavy demand here. Traffic on the base paths, on the corners. As the Flamingos looked on the board. Big two-out hit here would drive in one. If it were extra bases, might get two. Like Scooey is fast. And it's strike three. Struck him out. To end the minor threat from the Flamingos. And after 2.5 innings, it's the Capitals 3, and Flamingos 0.
Das ist Mia. Mia hat zu Hause einen richtig schönen Designboden, der aber auch leider oberflächige Schäden und tiefe Kratzer aufweist. Dr. Schütz hat dafür die Lösung mit Produkten für die Reinigung und Pflege, wie das Designboden-Pflegeset und um tiefe Kratzer zu beseitigen, das Scratch Fix Repair Set. Und damit Mia genau weiß, wie man ihre Böden zu Hause perfekt pflegt und schützt, gibt es unsere Tutorials auf dem Dr. Schütz YouTube-Channel. Für Mia und euch alle. Damit muss sich Mia nicht mehr um ihre Böden sorgen, sondern kann ganz beruhigt unsere Caps anfeuern. Go Caps! Das ist
Heading to the bottom of the third inning, the heart of the order for Capitals will be coming to the plate, beginning with Wilson Lee, followed by Dan Lamb Hunt and Vinny Arliss. Those first two hitters have 2 and 1 RBI respectively. Wilson Lee, the double to drive in 2 runs, and then he came home to score after Dan Lamb Hunt hit a single. That ball's low and in the dirt. Count is 1-0. Well, Joshua Spezia did a good job in the second inning after surrendering those 3 runs in the opening inning, and that one goes to the backstop. Count goes to 2-0. The count goes 3-0. Spezia falling behind the first hit batter in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. 3-0 pitch on the way. That one's called strike 1. Wilson Lee watching all the way on that one. Now it's a 3-1 count. See if he gets that green light. And he fouls that one back. Now the count full after having fallen behind the pitcher 3-0. Now it's 3-2. Spezia looking to get that out. Wilson Lee watches, takes the pitch and draws the base on balls to lead off the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And that'll bring up Dan Lamb Hunt, who with his single drove in Wilson Lee in the 1st inning for the 3rd run of the game. Lamb Hunt, in terms of home runs, only one player is better than him, and that is his teammate Terrell Joyce. Dan Lamb Hunt has had 5 home runs this season, and Wilson Lee runs, and not the fleetest of runners, but a weak throw by Chongo Livela, and Wilson Lee is now on second base.
That was a strange throw from the pitcher.
Yeah, did not. He threw it from his knees and it barely made it to second base. All right, stolen base now. Wilson Lee showing off his speed. But it's his 5th of the season, so what am I saying? He knows pitchers well enough. And Lamb Hunt. Lamb Hunt playing second base today. Wilson Lee is the DH, by the way, as he's on second base one more time. Nobody out. Runner on second base for the Capitals. Lamb Hunt waiting for the pitch. It comes. It's in the dirt. Count goes to 2-1. Spezia facing some problems in the heart of the order for the Capitals. On the on-deck circle, Vinny Arlen's. And in the hole is Anthony Clinzy. Next pitch comes. That one's high. The count goes to 3-1. Spezia has fallen behind yet again. Walked the first batter, and is on the verge of losing yet another one. I believe it's 3-1.
Actually, the scoreboard shows 2-2, so we are not quite sure.
And that's called strike 3. That one's on, hit the corner of the plate there. Dan Lamb knew it though. Oh. That's the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Vinny Arens, left-handed hitting catcher. He flew out to center field in his first at-bat, a line drive to the center fielder. One out now. Runner on second base still, Wilson Lee. That one's in the dirt, and that gets too far away from Chongo Rivera, and Wilson Lee advances to third on that wild pitch. 90 feet away from home plate now.
So a single will do it.
Yeah, single. Spezia having some control problems. Many pitches now landing in the dirt. Oh, Chongo Rivera will have to see if he's up to the task. If another ball comes in the dirt, Spezia is making it difficult for him, the catcher. 1-0 pitch. There's a pop-up in the infield, and nobody can find it. and it lands just in front of third base, and nobody's at second base anymore. And so pop up infield single, and you can blame that one on the sun. There's no, the third baseman never saw it. The shortstop saw it a bit too late. It was too far away from him. Catcher or the pitcher was unable to locate it. Oh, that is probably the shortest double you'll ever see. And because everybody was running around, nobody was staying at second base. Maybe the heads-up right fielder would have done something like that, or the first baseman. Hard to know. But Vinny Arons with a, what do we call that, about a 80-foot or double. 80-foot double. Now, well, Wilson Lee couldn't advance on that because he had no idea the ball was going to be caught. Anthony Cleansing with a chance to get some RBIs. And takes ball one. Runners in scoring position. Steps off the rubber. Cleansing steps out of the batter's box. That one's also low. Well, Spezia having trouble finding the strike zone at times. Count now 2-0 to Cleansing. He struck out in his first at-bat in the bottom half of the first inning. 2-0 count, one out. Runners in scoring position at second and third. And he hits a fly ball to shallow center field. Wilson Lee tags up. There's a strong throw there to home plate and a double play. Very, very good play, I must admit, by the center fielder, Patlik Kurosawa. That's a bit too shallow to be running on, but was challenging that arm, and Wilson Lee is thrown out at home plate. Oh, with runners on scoring position and only one out, no runs are scored. And after 3 complete innings, it's still Capitals 3, Flamingos 0.
Das war's. Damit ist also der Bingo-Event offiziell beendet. Gratulation an die beiden Sieger und danke an euch alle fürs Mitspielen. Wir haben 3 nichts gespielt hier in der Rheinau bei Sommerbaseball, würde ich jetzt mal sagen. 13-0 für die Caps nach 3 Innings. Und wir nutzen die Gelegenheit und sagen mal wieder Danke an die Wohlnamski GmbH, die Deutsche Post Group, Techniker Krankenkasse, Robinson, Wellfit, die Stiftung der Volksbank Köln-Bonn, die Flamingos und Bonn Gas. Danke an alle Unterstützer des Bonner Baseballsports.
And we're back talking with Max about that throw. Very, very nice throw by Patlik Kurosawa. And we saw that in the first inning when he threw to first base after an out, and Dan Lamb Hunt had to slide back in. It wasn't that close, but it was just simply he showed his arm. And now And now he did the same thing against Wilson Lee, who tried to score on that shallow fly ball to center field. But we're back, and to lead off the fourth inning for the Flamingos is Sayol. He pops it up to Eric Blanken behind shortstop and really battling the sun, but nice play by the shortstop. Already for the first out of the inning. Now the DH pops out to shortstop here in the top half of the fourth inning. That brings up number 6, the left fielder, Carlos Gimon, who hits a chopper, and that's foul ball. The left fielder, he flew out to right field in his first at-bat. Long fly ball to the warning track to lead off the second inning. Carlos Gimon entered the game batting 55. That average will be a tad lower after his 0 for 1 at the moment. The shadows slowly engulfing the field here. There's another foul ball. 0-2 the count now as the Flamingo left fielder falls behind in the count. And that one way in front of home plate. The count now 1-2, and Von Cup has had a pitch underplay since entering the game first inning after with just one out. Sasha Koch's outing today shortened and checks his swing. The pitch in the dirt in front of home plate. And the count goes even 2-2. There's fastball fouled back. Von Kopf has had to face a couple batters over multiple pitches, many pitches. This is the sixth pitch coming up. It's a strike. Not. Outside it meant fastball is low and away. Count now full. And Kimon battles back to get the count full. Payoff pitch comes. Strike. Nice piece of pitching there. Get the second out of the inning. It'll bring up the second baseman, Max Esteban, number 12. He grounded out to the second baseman in his first at-bat. Oh for 1 today. And the ball gets away from Vinny Arns. A lot of balls squirreling out of the gloves here. First baseman Terrell Joyce has let balls go away, and there's a shot just over the diving, jumping glove of Dan Lamhunt. So Esteban Max reaches first base. With a line drive over the second baseman Lamhunt, and that brings up the catcher Chango Rivera. He struck out in his first at-bat. Max Esteban. That's 4 stolen bases this season. Small threat. The cop looks over to first, gets the sign. There's a fly ball into center field, and Danny Lankhorst gathers it in for the third and final out of the top half of the fourth inning. So we've now played 3.5 complete innings. It's Capitals 3, Flamingos 0.
Offiziell zu Ende ist, wer aber weiter spielen möchte, kann das gerne tun. Und es gibt noch ein paar Trostpreise, die man dann mit der erfolgreich ausgefüllten Karte hinten am Tisch abholen kann. Also offiziell sind wir zwar fertig, wer aber noch weiter spielen möchte, kann das gerne tun.
By chance, no pitch count, but he might be reaching, how many? So he's reached 70 through 3 complete innings. He might be reaching the end of his rope as he will face Danny Lankhorst. Danny Lankhorst struck out in his first at-bat. Now leading off the fourth inning, which is low for ball 1. The Capitals almost tacked onto their lead in the last inning with some unusual plays, an 80-foot double, got runners on second and third base, and then fly ball, shallow center field. Wilson tagged up for third base, tried to score, and a bang strong throw from Patrick Zawa nailed him at home plate for a double play, 8-2 to end the threat and the inning. Counts 1-2 to Lankhorst. And he's out for the second time in this game. So any rumors that Max, our director, was saying about how much longer Spezia would be pitching might be just that. Never know. And now stepping to the plate is Donnie Sanchez, third baseman. He counted out to his counterpart, or the shortstop, sorry, in the second inning. And he takes ball 1 on the first pitch. One and 0 count, 1 out. Sanchez at the plate, number 8. Fouls 1 back, and the count will go 1-1. Ball 2, 1. Well, heading into today, former Bonn Capital center fielder Kevin van Mansell, now playing for Hamburg, leading the league in batting with 384 clubs. Has 2 home runs. Frank would be close behind him now after having gone 1 for 1 so far. Good piece of batting there. Good at bat for Danny Sanchez. Yeah, he takes a walk. A runner on first base. Sanchez. And coming to the plate will be Frederick Llewellyn. He struck out in his first at bat. Sanchez has 7 stolen bases to his name this season, so good chance he might take it. Try and advance to second base. Let's see what Frederick Llewellyn does, left fielder. Spezia steps off the mound. 1-0 count to the Bonn left fielder. Runner on first base. He's not going anywhere. Pitches inside. It's now 2-0. Next pitch comes. Throw over first. Yeah. Well, Llewellyn looking to advance the runner. And Sanchez runs. Swing and a miss. Foul ball. No foul ball. No contact made. Sanchez takes second base uncontested. No throw as the ball popped out of the mitt of Rivera. Oh, now a runner on second base for the Capitals. They've managed to do that in 3 of the 4 innings so far. Get runners into scoring position. Even managed in every inning so far. Even in the second, Eric Plank reached second base. Oh, Sanchez takes a healthy lead, and that's strike 2. Really blew that one past Llewellyn. Far behind it. Spezia dug deep down. Now the count's 2-2 with 1 out. To second. There's a pop-up, and this one's also stays in the infield, but the second baseman takes charge, Esteban, and he catches it for the second out. Danny Sanchez can't go anywhere. That will bring up the leadoff hitter, Eric Blank. Well, Blank has scored a run, 1 for 1 in this game, and also with a walk. And hits a weak pop-up behind shortstop, and Canapin catches it for the final out of the inning. So runner reaches second base, but nothing more, and the Capitals stagnate with their lead of 3-0 after 4 complete innings. This is Caps TV. Leading off here in the top of the 5th inning is the Berlin shortstop, Nico Canapin. Canapin drew a walk in his first at-bat. And, well, first base coach was missing. And now we're ready. Fun Cop delivers the first pitch. Oh, Strike one. Cop has had a strong outing so far. Strike two. I mean, only given up 2 hits and 2 walks so far. Foul that one back to stay alive. Still 0-2 to Canopin. The shortstop batting .200. Next pitch, grounder to second baseman Dan Lamhunt, bobbles it, gathers it, throws out the Flamingos shortstop for the first out of the top half of the 5th. Now the top of the lineup will come to the plate. Patrick Kurzawa has grounded out to shortstop and reached base on a fielder's choice. That was inside for ball 1. Curveball. Called a strike. One and two. That's what I thought. Next pitch. Grounder to Terrell Joyce. He hits off his foot. Good play there by Von Kopf, and a dive by Kurzawa. Almost looks like a good way to hurt yourself. Diving into the bag. Full speed, the way he did. Well, Terrell Joyce collected the ball and threw it to the covering pitcher. Well done to get the out at first base. Oh, 2 outs now. And Clement Esteban. He's 1 for 2. Has reached base both times, but the second time was on a fielder's choice. Count is 1-0 to the left-handed right fielder. Next pitch, low. 2-0 count now. That one's called strike. Now 2-1 count. Two outs. This is the top half of the 5th. That one's low. 3-1 as Von Kopf has fallen behind. Try to get his second 1-2-3 inning. That was outside. Ball 4. Oh, Esteban draws a walk. That'll bring up Michael Lascui. He has flown out to right field and drawn a walk. 0 for 1 today in his 3rd plate appearance. Third baseman digs in and takes a big swing. Strike 1. 0-1 count. Runner on first base. What's that he has hanging? It's interesting what the runner has. Okay, he's not tightening up his glove, his running glove. Very antsy there. Pitch comes to the plate. low for ball one. 1-1. Esteban itching to run, I think. That one side. That's ball two. 2-1 now. This Von Kopf is extending the inning a little more than would like after getting 2 easy outs to start. Runner on first base and the number 3 hitter for the Flamingos, Ascui, the most dangerous hitter at the plate. Next pitch is high inside, and it's now a 3-1 count. Can't tell if there's any action in the Capitals bullpen. It doesn't look like it at the moment. Runner on first base, Esteban. Throw over. He dives back safely. Next pitch to Ascui. And he hits a line drive to the left fielder. Throws it quickly back into the infield. Llewellyn. So, runners now on first and second. After Von Kopf got the first 2 hitters down. Now, first baseman Gabriel Tovar will step up to the plate, and there's going to be a meeting at the mound. Catcher Vinny Arlenz goes. Whether Von Kopf will continue. And he's going to keep the ball. That's a big plate appearance for Tovar. There's runners on first and second and 2 outs. He has a single so far. 1 for 2. Struck out in his last at bat. Score is 3-0. The Capitals drew blood quickly in this game. They scored 3 runs in the first inning. That's been silent. They've had some chances. Runners getting to, and there's a hit to the left field. And Esteban turns and he's called safe. Called safe. And looks like he's a little shaken up. Runners advance all the way. They go to second and third on that throw from Llewellyn. Really a beautiful throw. And going to be some discussion here about the call at the plate, but in the Bundesliga, there's no reviews. Can't see. It was hard to see from our angle. Throw was spot on. If anything, maybe Arlenz could have been called for blocking the plate, but however it happened, the run was called safe, or the runner was called safe, and now there are runners on second and third. Still 2 outs. After Gabriel Tovar hit a single, could advance to second base. On the throw. And Michael Ascui is on third base now. So runners in scoring positions, a chance on a base hit to tie this game for the Flamingos. Capitals have failed to capitalize on chances to extend their lead. Oh, it's 3-1. What looked like was going to be an easy inning has turned into a difficult one. First 2 batters went down. The 3 have reached base, 3 in a row, on a walk, and then 2 hits. And Luis Sayol, the DH, is at the plate. It's a 1-1 count. Von Kopf looks to end Flamingos inning. Now the count's 2-1. Some minor control issues here. Pitches coming inside a little bit more. Sayol adjusts his batting glove. Back in the batter's box. Von Kapp delivers. There's a just foul down the third base line. The runners return to their respective bases, second and third. Count goes to 2-2. Score is 3-1, and the guests have gotten on the board. Visitors with a 2-out rally in this inning. Calls timeout, Sayol. Skui runs down. Does he check in time? He did. So the count is full, 3-2 with 2 outs. Runners will run on contact most likely. Don't have to, but they won't because another walk. So the bases are loaded. And that's going to be the end, I think, for you. This will be the end for Titus Von Kapp as Wilson Lee goes to the mound for the second time this inning, which means there will be a pitching change with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the top half of the 5th inning. Well, those 3 runners all belong to Titus Von Kapp. Yeah. Oh. New pitcher is Yannick Orvanidis, Greek reliever. Has a lot of innings as a reliever, 17.2 to be exact. A healthy ERA of 7.64. But he delivers strikes also, getting more than 1 per inning in his relief appearances at 19 already. But has given up 15 bases on balls this sidearmer. This will be interesting to see if he can get out of this jam. Orfanidis. Looking again at the exact stats. Orfanidis, 7.2 innings pitched, has given up 18 hits, surrendered 15 runs, all of those earned, has walked 15 batters. Well, the sidearmer, the submariner here, with a big challenge. He'll be facing the number 6 hitter. That is going to be Carlos Gimon, the left-hander, or left fielder. He's 0 for 2 so far. All right, warm-up is over. The runners return to their bases after having come to the dugout. In the meantime, that brings up number 6. Left fielder Carlos Simon with an opportunity to tie this game. Home run would give him a 2-run lead. Let's hope that doesn't happen. That pitch is grounded to the second baseman. Lamb Hunt hands it to Eric Brank, and that was a quick one pitch, one out appearance there for Fanitas. And that ends the top half of the fifth inning with 1 run scored by the Flamingos. And it's 3-1 for the Capitals. This is Terrell Joyce is leading off here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Joyce has reached on the air and popped out to the shortstop. Spezia delivers all 2, I believe. 2-1, yep. Spezia's last inning was a 1-2-3 affair. Long fly ball to the center fielder and out.
Ja, da ärgert sich Terrell Joyce ein Tick zu hoch, der Ball da vom Schläger weg.
He's looking for his 7th home run. Just short.
Fly out im Center field, erstes aus.
As he flies out to Patrick Kozawa. 3-2 count. Payoff pitch. And he pops that one behind first base. And the right fielder comes over and he falls and ball lands in foul territory. And he overran that one. The right fielder. Oh. Esteban.
Der Flamingos rutscht da im Foul-Territory aus.
And slipped into dirt in the foul territory on the first base right field line. Joshua Spezia over 90, 95, I believe. And that's high. Lee draws a walk. That's the second walk to the DH. Dan Lamb Hunt comes up. Lamb Hunt with an RBI on a single and struck out looking. His last appearance, his last at bat. Throw over to first. Close. First pitch to Lamb Hunt. Fouls that one straight back. The count is 0-1. Wilson Lee on first base. He drew a walk. Lamb Hunt hits that line drive over the second baseman, and Wilson Lee continues running as he was going for a steal, and then Lamb Hunt can go to first base, and Wilson Lee thinks about going home but is held up by the third base coach. Smart play as the throw from the outfield was errant. Gives Lamb Hunt the opportunity to advance on the errant throw, so a single with an error. Wilson Lee now on third. Dan Lamb Hunt on second base. Oh, Vineyards is 1 for 2. He had a double in his last at bat. And if he did that again, then he'd drive in 2 runs. And instead, he's given an intentional pass. So Vinny Arons gets an intentional base on balls to bring up Anthony Klinzing, the right fielder, has struck out and hit into a double play. The double play, inning-ending double play, fly out to the center fielder who then threw out Wilson Lee at home to end the 3rd inning. Chance for Wilson. We got bases loaded here. Big chance. And Klinzing hits a fly ball pop-up to the shortstop. Hannepin. Hold one in. 1 pitch, 1 out, and Spezia looking to get out of this, escape a big jam here. Now Danny Lankhorst steps to the plate. The center fielder has struck out twice so far, as the Capitals are failing to score runs with runners in scoring position since the 1st inning. They've had numerous chances, also with less than 2 outs. But now, this is the opportunity for Danny Lankhorst. Lankhorst, 25 hits this season. (13 RBIs) as Spezia falls behind in the count. He has nowhere to put Lankhorst. 3 Capitals on the base paths. 2-0 count, 2 outs.
Tiefe Kratzer zu beseitigen, das Scratch Fix Repair Set. Und damit Mia genau weiß, wie man ihre Böden zu Hause perfekt pflegt und schützt, gibt es unsere Tutorials auf dem Dr. Schutz YouTube-Channel. Für Mia und euch alle. Damit muss sich Mia nicht mehr um ihre Böden sorgen, sondern kann ganz beruhigt unsere Caps anfeuern. Go Caps! Das ist
Die Capitals haben gerade die Chance verpasst, ein paar Punkte draufzulegen. So gibt es also wieder die Chance für die Flamingos mit Max Esteban. Außerhalb des Zauns, Foul Ball. Janni Auffanidis auf dem Mount und übernommen von Titus von Kapf.
Max ist an der Schlagmann für die Flamingos.
Und der zweite Strike. Und to der Count. Nach meiner Rechnung 0-2, weil das erste war ein Foul Ball. Der ist zu hoch und outside. Und Hit by Pitch für Max Esteban. Dann gibt es jetzt noch eine kleine Diskussion.
So, mal abwarten, was sich ergibt.
Sieht so aus, als wenn er vom Handschuh des Catchers weggesprungen wäre. Ellbogen. They bring him. I think they bring him back. Ja. Die Schiedsrichter haben sich kurz besprochen und sagen, er hat sich rangelehnt mit dem Ellenbogen. Also doch nicht Hit by Pitch.
In my absence, lots of exciting action here at the stadium. As first, the leadoff hitter, Max Esteban, apparently got too close to the pitch, leaned into it, and that was not called a hit by pitch. And there's strike three. Oh, an unusual turn of events for something like that to happen. Must say.
Actually, in my memory, I thought then the hitter would be out, right? If he does that.
I was wondering that
too. This is what I know. If he does it on purpose.
Because if it's like the catcher interference, if the bat makes contact with the glove, that is considered catcher interference, and it would be given a base.
Anyway, we have Chongo Rivera.
Chongo Rivera is the next batter with one out. And he's now behind on the count 0-2. He's 0 for 2 today. The side armor. Orphanides makes things uncomfortable with that submarine style for right-handed hitters. That one's high. Counts 1-2. A slightly unorthodox approach in his throw. Not only as a submariner, there's a bit of a hesitation at times, and there's a fly ball to right field, and that's out number 2. Oh.
So Anthony Rodriguez cleansing cotton ball easily.
Oh, 2 outs now. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Nico Canopin. He's 1 for 1 today with a walk. That takes that pitch inside. Ball 1. Even now 1-1. So what was actually kind of normal for Bonn Capitals in the past years is to have long winning streaks, just like my second favorite club at the moment. You may know me as a Dodgers fan. Brent doesn't like that, one of my fellow commentators. But I'm almost equally a Cincinnati Reds fan. Is just they haven't had much to cheer about the last 10 years. But now have a 12-game winning streak and jump to the lead in the relatively mediocre Central Division in the National League. And the Central Division in the American League is also very mediocre. So it could be maybe if you're the biggest midget, you're going to win that division, or one of those two. shouldn't say that about my Reds, but hey, if he can win 85 games, he may be taking that division. And there's a walk. I'm rambling on about the Cincinnati Reds. And Canopin draws his second walk in this game. And that will bring up the top of the order and Patrick Kurzawa. Kurzawa looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3 so far. Canopin leads off at first. Pitch, quick throw over to first. Ooh. There it would have been advantageous if you had a left-handed first baseman, I think. As Terrell Joyce had to sweep around with the left hand to tag the runner. It would have been a much closer. That was a very good throw there by Vinny Arns. And count is now 1-1. As you hear a good pop in the glove of Vinny Arns coming from the pitches of Orphanides. There's a swinging attempt there, and completely fooled by that pitch. Now it's 1-2 with 2 outs as Orphanides looks to end this inning relatively quickly. Despite giving up a walk, he's a fast pitcher on the mound, doesn't mess around in. And that curveball is low, and a throw over to first again. Well, Vinny Arns has done that numerous times in his career for the Capitals. Get the runner at first base. If they stray away a little too far. Counts now 2-2. Orphanides, pitch. That one's in the dirt, blocked, but not well enough as the ball gets too far away. And so, runner goes to second base on a wild pitch. Valiant try by Vinny Arns.
And we are at a full count.
Full count. The runner's now on second base. And there's a foul ball. Count remains 3-2. Patrick Kurzawa has, not with the bat, knocked in any runs, but he saved a run with his throw from center field in the third inning. And there's a walk. So Orphanides, with 2 quick outs, has lost 2 batters in a row on walks. Now Clement Esteban comes to the plate. He scored the sole run for Berlin. He reached base last inning on a walk. He's 1 for 2. Oh, tying run on the base passers. Another throw there. Arns to second base behind the runner. Vinny Arns keeping himself busy with throws to first and second base. One and 0 count. 2 outs. Ball 2. Orphanides has lost the strike zone. The Capitals have done well on the board, have always extended innings a little bit too much for the Flamingos, and have been keeping them in the game with not scoring runners in scoring positions, even with less than 2 outs. So we've got a tight game still, 3-1. A lot of clamor from the Flamingo dugout. That's called strike 1, 3-1. As Esteban was taking all the way on that pitch. Try and put more pressure on the Capitals. Let's see if he's going to swing here. 3-1 count. runners on first and second for the Flamingos. They're down 2 runs as the Capitals. And Orfanides steps off the rubber. Clement Esteban steps out of the batter's box. Readjusts his glove. Takes a deep breath. He's back in the batter's box. Orfanides is on the rubber. 3-1 pitch. And that's outside. Ball 4. So 3 walks in a row now.
Yeah, actually we have seen Orfanides struggling after a while.
Yep.
And that happens today again.
Oh, that for Orfanides, if he's has 18 walks surrendered, so more than innings pitched. And are the Capitals going to go to the bullpen? Whatever the case, they're going to be facing Michaelis Ascui, the best batter for the Flamingos. Ascui today has a single. He has a walk. There are 3 Flamingos on the base paths, and first pitch is called strike 1. Exactly what Orfanides needs. Get ahead and nail this down. It's the 6th inning. Scores 3-1 for the Capitals, and called strike 2. And Ascui looks on in disbelief. Orfanides with a semi-overhand pitch. Interesting style. Playing it safe maybe, but I don't know if that's something that would give me a lot of confidence in the Capitals.
Actually, Orfanides has done that at the beginning of the season. All of a sudden he had an overhead pitch.
Ha.
And it was a strike.
And he does it
There
again.
it is.
And there's a single. There's 1 run who's going to score. And there's the throw over to third. And so we've got a tie ball game now. As Michael Ascui connects with a 2-out single. So 2 runs are in.
Die Flamingos kämpfen sich hier ins Spiel zurück.
We've got a ball game here. As the pitching change will be made. Might have been 1 batter too many, or it was.
Obviously now Eric Frank will enter the mound, and Luis Martin will play shortstop.
All right. Oh, Eric Frank enters. Will be stepping onto the rubber. And that's got to be disappointing for Orfanides, who started off the inning with 2 quick outs, and then he lost it. Eric Frank will be the new pitcher. And as Angela said, Luis Martin enters the game at shortstop.
The problem is it's too early for Eric Frank. I don't know who will come after that.
Yeah.
Because normally Eric, he comes onto the mound, but maybe to do 1 or 2 innings,
Yeah.
you know.
We're only in the top half of the 6th.
So we have given up the DH. Wilson Lee is now playing first base, and Tara Joyce is in the right field. So
Wholesale changes here.
Eric Frank remains on the lineup.
6 behind Vinny Arlens. As the new shortstop. And some wholesale changes. Eric Frank moves from shortstop to the pitching mound. Terrell Joyce to right field, and Wilson Lee, the former DH, is now the first baseman. Oh. We've got a tie game here now, 3-3, and there are still 2 runners on base for the Flamingos. A base hit would drive in the go-ahead run. And this is the task of Brank. Make sure that doesn't happen. He's pitched 6 2/3 innings, and there's a pop-up foul out of play.
Gabriel Tovar is the hitter.
In the batter's box is Tovar. Tovar has a single. Count is 0-2, so Eric Brank has the upper hand quickly against Tovar. Tovar is 2 for 3. Ascui runs, and that's the third strike of the inning. Doesn't matter. So Eric Brank gets the fast strikeout, 3 pitches to end the top half of the 6th, but not before the Flamingos even the score, 3-3. This is Caps TV. Third baseman Sanchez to start things off here in the bottom half of the 6th with the score 3-3. Flamingos even score in the top half of the inning. With a 2-out rally, nobody was on base when it started. And then Norbel talking with a home plate umpire. Not certain what's going on there. He's shrugging his shoulders a lot. It'll be up to Donnie Sanchez to start a rally to reestablish the lead. And that one is first pitch is a hit by pitch. So Donnie Sanchez takes one on, looks like the left knee. He's walking a little gingerly in the first pitch from Henry Jackson. Finds the kneecap of Bonn third baseman Donnie Sanchez. Oh, not the start he envisioned, Henry Jackson. Brings up Philip Llewellyn. Well, runner already on first base after one pitch. And he runs Sanchez. And the throw, safe. Ascui at third. The third baseman is also disbelief. Oh. Sanchez on 2 pitches has reached second base without touching the ball or doing anything. Got hit by a pitch on the very first pitch to Llewellyn. And on the first pitch to Llewellyn, he stole second base. So now we got a runner in scoring position. That one also, as he squared up the bunt. The question is what happened. Can't tell if he was hit. Looks like he was also hit by a pitch. Now, 2 batters hit by pitch. Didn't matter that Sanchez stole second base. Okay, runners now, 2 of them on base for the Capitals, and Norbel with a very, very slow walk to the pitcher's mound. I'm sure there must be some activity going on in the Flamingo bullpen because he wants to give them as much time as possible to warm up if he loses all his confidence in Henry Jackson, which he might have a right to do, considering he has hit 2 batsmen in 3 pitches. Low as he's walking, he probably wants a funeral dirge in the background and not the music that's being played. All right. Henry Jackson has entered the game after Joshua Spezia left, having pitched 5 innings for the Flamingos and gave up 3 runs, all those in the first inning, and managed to do a good job of stopping scoring. And there's a play at second base. Nothing happening there. Donnie Sanchez got back easily. Eric Brank is the batter. He's 0 for 2, or 1 for 2, sorry, 1 for 2 with a double. And pitch. There's a ball. 1-0. Next pitch comes, and that's called strike 1. Eric Brank is seeing how Jackson performs after hitting the first 2 batters of this inning. I bet you now he's going to be ready to swing. 1-1 count, nobody out. Runners on first and second for the Capitals. This is a 3-3 game. He turns to bunt, pulls back. It's ball 2. Well, just as Orfanides had some problems last top half of the inning, now it's Henry Jackson having difficulties in the strike zone. Eric Brank waits for the pitch, and he bunts it down the third base line. And they managed to get Danny Sanchez. Wow. Pretty good bunt by Eric Brank. And Henry Jackson was fast off the mound. And that play was destined to go to third base all the way. Henry Jackson didn't care how close it would be, and he throws out Danny Sanchez. So the sacrifice bunt fails. Fielder's choice. That'll be 1-5. Eric Brank goes to first, and Phildrick Llewellyn at second. Now there's 1 out, and Terrell Joyce is at the plate. That first pitch is high. Terrell Joyce, a big threat here. 2 home runs last week. Today, quiet. Reached base on an error in the first inning. He came around to score. 0 for 2 cents. There's a fastball, and there's a throw to first. And a double play. Sharp grounder to third base. As Cooey steps on third, throws to first, beats Joyce on a 5-3 double play to end what looked like a promising inning for the Capitals. So no runners score, and the score remains 3-3 after 6 full innings of play. This is Caps TV.
Dr. Schutz, GmbH Käfer Construction, Lichthaus Enzinger und die Sparkasse Köln. Allen Unterstützern des Bonner Baseballsports recht herzlichen Dank. 7 und das Flutlicht performt.
We're back, and it's the top half of the 7th inning. The lights are on. We've got evening baseball completely in Bonn at the Rhein-Aue Stadium. To lead off the top half of the 7th is number 34, Louis Sayol. Sayol 1 for 3 in this game. Eric Brank stays in naturally. Got a last out in the previous inning. And foul tip. As Frank gets ahead on the count against Sayol. 1-2. This game looked like it was going to be a walk in the park, quite literally, for the Capitals as they went ahead quickly 3-0 in the first inning. But they missed opportunities to extend the lead, and the Flamingos struck back with one run in the fifth, two in the sixth, and it's a 3-3 ball game. It's the top of the seventh. Louis Sayol leading off the DH, and that check swing is not checked in time. Now he goes down swinging, if you call it that. That'll bring up the left fielder, Carlos Gimon. Gimon is 0 for 3 so far today. He hits a grounder to Lamb Hunt. Second baseman throws to first. Wilson Lee catches it. And we've got 2 quick outs. That's happened a couple of times today for the Capitals. Get 2 quick outs, and then found the Flamingos scratch their way back in. Some base runners and cause problems. Now up to the plate is the second baseman, Max Esteban. And Esteban is 1 for 3 today so far. Question will be really is how long will Eric Blank pitch? More of a closer traditionally. He's been called early into action. It's the 4th Capitals pitcher. Sasha Cole started the game, but after, right back to Blank, who quick reflexes it, lobs it to first base, and the inning is over. Good play. That's a 1-2-3 inning. So, heading into the bottom half of the 7th, the score is 3-3. This is Caps TV.
Was ist, wenn wir dich dann nicht erreichen können? Lass uns doch nachher Videocall. Endlich Ruhe vor dem. Ihr euch denn gar keine Sorgen?
Mit der Telekom ist das bestens erreichbar. Und das günstiger als man denkt. Genau, mit den Magenta-Mobilangeboten zahlt ihr zu 4 im Schnitt nur 19,95 pro Karte im besten 5G-Netz. Und je mehr ihr seid, desto günstiger wird's.
Mia hat zu Hause einen richtig schönen Designboden, der aber auch leider oberflächige Schäden und tiefe Kratzer aufweist. Dr. Schütz hat dafür die Lösung mit Produkten für die Reinigung und Pflege, wie das Designboden-Pflegeset und um tiefe Kratzer zu beseitigen, das Scratch Fix Repair Set. Und damit Mia genau weiß, wie man ihre Böden zu Hause perfekt pflegt und schützt, gibt es unsere Tutorials auf dem Dr. Schütz YouTube-Channel. Für Mia und euch alle. Damit muss sich Mia nicht mehr um ihre Böden sorgen, sondern kann ganz beruhigt unsere Caps anfeuern. Go Caps!
After a shaky start to his previous inning, starting the 6th, Henry Jackson returns to the mound. He hit the first 2 batters he faced, and then on a attempted sacrifice bunt, made a bang play to third base to get the lead runner, and then a double play and the Capitals' chance to regain the lead. Wilson Lee is going to step to the plate to lead off the 7th inning. He's playing first base now. So he has a walk, a double, 2 walks and a double, excuse me, so 1 for 1. The pitch. Oh, count now 2-2. And the changeup, Wilson Lee swings through that one. And I think the frustration is starting to show up a little bit in some of these at-bats for the Capitals is every time they are on the verge of getting the lead, rallying, scoring some runs, they either run themselves out of it or a double play squelches it. And now it's up to Dan Lamb Hunt, who is 2 for 3. 1 RBI, and that pitch is high. And that squibs out of the glove of another catcher. It's 1-0. One out. Lamb Hunt at the plate. And safety pitch is a ball 2. 2-0 now. Looks like at times Jackson throws very cautiously, hoping to maybe catch him off guard. He has good speed, but occasionally he takes a lot out of it. There's that fastball. It's high. Yes, and it's had some control issues because those 2 hit batsmen in his first inning were on fastballs. Count now 3-0. See if the Capitals can get a runner on base. And that pitch is inside, and so another walk. Vinny Arlens will step to the plate. He has a double. He was walked intentionally in his last at-bat. 1 for 2. We'll see if Dan Lamb Hunt decides he's going to run. He has 2 stolen bases. That's a size lead. Henry Jackson goes over to first base. No problem for Lamb Hunt to get back. Well, we're in the lights now, under the lights. A relief for the left fielder and the third baseman, shortstop, that they were in the sun most of the time up until about 15 minutes ago. Oh, another ball. High. Jackson with some control problems. 2-0 the count. Vinny Arlens looking for a pitch to hit. And that one's called strike 1. Jackson went in the back door there. Next pitch to Arlens. Lamb Hunt on first base. Capitals looking to regain the lead that they lost, and Lamb Hunt decides to run somewhat delayed. And Rivera was on his knees once again. I think a good strong throw, he would have been out. And Dan Lamb Hunt seemed to have taken a risk there, because that was a very delayed steal attempt. But all's well that ends well. And we got a runner again on second base in scoring position with less than 2 outs. Counts 2-2. Run or a hit could possibly score the run. Jackson looks to second, delivers, and fouls that one back. It's a 2-2 count. With 1 out. Pitch comes. And that one's low. 3-2 to Vinny Arliss. Oh, in the on deck circle is Louis Martin, who came in during the wholesale exchange when Eric Blank took the mound. Players were shuffling around. Anthony Klinsing came out. Louis Martin came into shortstop. Eric Blank is now the pitcher. And Vinny Arliss draws a walk. Oh, Louis Martin. Louis Martin has a 100 batting average. Does draw a lot of walks, but has only 5 hits and 50 at-bats. Runners on first and second. We got 1 out. It's the bottom half of the 7th inning. Henry Jackson gets the sign. Throws the pitch, and an attempted bunt goes foul. Capitals trying to play some small ball here. Advance some runners, possibly even get Martin on base. See if all the runners on the base path cause a little bit of confusion for the Flamingos. As he also squares a bunt again and pulls back. 1-1 is now the count. A lot of pitches for Jackson this inning. Dan Lamb Hunt on second base. Vinny Arliss on first. The hitter is Louis Martin. And he swings that one, and that one's going far. And just barely gets that one. And the throw to third is a little wild. Very risky play there by Dan Lamb Hunt. As Kurzawa threw to the shortstop. Smart play because going backwards. And the throw by the shortstop Canapin almost got past Kui. And now both runners have advanced. Could say that was a very fancy sacrifice bunt. Just like the 80-foot double. Now we have the 300-foot sacrifice bunt. Runners now on second and third. Opportunity one more time. For Danny Lankhorst, has yet to get a hit in this game. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. It will score 2 runs probably. Certainly could score 1. And that pitch is called strike 1. Henry Jackson, critical situation for the Flamingos in the final third of the game. It's the bottom half of the 7th inning. Lankhorst pops that one up. Rivera rolls, but looks like he might have hurt himself as he dove awkwardly to try and catch that. Rolled into the backstop. The change-up. Oh, after 7 full innings of play, the score remains 3-3.
Zwischen den Flamingos und den Caps. Higgins, 8. Inning. Flamingos im Angriff und ich mal kurz sortieren, genau durch die Wechsel gerade, das habe ich euch unterschlagen. Haben wir noch ein paar Umstellungen gefällt. Anthony nicht mehr im Spiel, also Toni Prinze nicht mehr gespielt. Ryan wird jetzt Terrell Joyce. Den hier nicht aufgelöst, der steht jetzt auf der ersten Base. Wilson Lee also an der 1. Den Rest hatten wir, glaube ich, schon sortiert. Louis Martin auf Shortstop, Eric Wenger auf dem Mount.
Eric Frank remains in the game on the mound for the Capitals. He's done well. Got a 1-2-3 inning. Last inning. I believe that was only the second one for the Capitals in the game. And he begins facing the catcher, opposing catcher Changa Rivera. First pitch is ball 1. Rivera hits a line drive to the center fielder. Good play there by Danny Lankhorst. Now 0 for 4. The catcher. Bringing up the shortstop, Nico Canopin. He scored Berlin's second run. Canopin has drawn 2 bases on balls. He falls behind in the count here quickly, 0-1 to Eric Blank. Off speed, strike 2. Nico Canopin getting some words of encouragement from the dugout. Fastball high, ball 1. Next pitch comes, curveball, fouled out of play. At 1-2, there's 1 out. Eric Plank has had few problems so far since entering the game in the top half of the 6th. And that one's inside. The count is now even at 2-2. Canopin has managed to get on base 2 times via the walk as he Manages to make contact and extend his at-bats until he gets on base. There's a line drive over Luis Martin's head, so Canopin with a hit. And another Flamingo runner. That means we'll come to the top of the order and put the center field, Patrick Kurzawa. He drew a walk in his last at-bat. He's 0 for 3 today. He would come around to score the tying run. And Eric Brank throws first pitch high for ball 1. Flamingos have shown themselves to be extremely patient, always making their at-bats a bit longer than they probably should be. There's strike 1, though. Kurzawa swings through that one, 1-1. We've already now reached the 3-hour mark of this game. And that's a run. Runner, Lanapin goes, and probably would have been out, but ball scooted between both the shortstop and second base. So Canopin is on second with a stolen base. Vinny Ireland's throw hit the lip of the grass in front of second base. And all of a sudden, the Flamingos have a chance to take their first lead of the game. One out, count is 2-2. Yeah, he's alive on that changeup. Just made a bit of contact to foul it off. Flamingos have a runner on second base. Kurzawa. Now the plate umpire asks for some new balls, apparently, or not sure what. Aha. The sunglasses are showing reflection, I believe, and now the umpire is asking the center fielder possibly. Oh, okay. Yeah, with the light coming from above, it was reflecting, and I noticed that looking in the Capitals dugout, the players have their shades on their bill or just above their eyes, and you get reflections of light, can distract. And so, since the sun isn't playing a role anymore in this game, the umpires asked Dan Lamont to remove those sunglasses so that they wouldn't gain any unfair advantage. Eric Blank delivers. That's a bunt. That's a very nice bunt down the third baseline. And that's a single. Caught them by surprise there, Patrick Kurzawa. Now the runner's on first and third with only an out. Nice piece of hitting. And Eric Blank now in a pickle. The score 3-3 and 1 out. Runners on first and third on the corners. Of course, a double play would end this threat. Kurzawa on first. Canopin on third. Batting, Esteban Clement. First pitch called strike 1. Well, Esteban has reached base 4 times. All of his at-bats, only one of them was a hit, 2 walks. And there's some heat there from Brank. That's a reach on a fielder's choice. He's 1 for 2. in 4 plate appearances. And there goes the runner. And Eric Blank uncertain what to do. He didn't want to throw to second and possibly let the runner on third go home. So he ate it up, and now the runners are on second and third on a stolen base by Kuzawa. No double play now possible. And the infield is in with the left side of the infield on the grass, on the edge of the grass. Stan Lamb Hunt also on the grass. Wilson Lee also. And there's a heat there again, and strike 3. That's one way to end an at-bat, is to strike him out with some good old-fashioned heat. It's a second out. Infield can go back to normal depth. That brings up the ever-so-dangerous Michael Escui here with Flamingos. Flamingos battling for their playoff lives. Capitals seeking to solidify first place in the Bundesliga North. And leading off the inning will be Donnie Sanchez. Sanchez was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. That was when Henry Jackson entered the game. Well, Jackson has thrown 2 innings of scoreless ball as he continues. And first pitch is called strike 1 to the Capitals' third baseman. On the on deck is Fildrick Llewellyn. Eric Brank in the hole. That one's high. 1. There's more chatter coming from the Flamingos dugout. They rallied a couple times, scratched their way out of difficult situations, and put some pressure on the Capitals. Big Mo, you might say, is on their side. But Capitals are nothing new for the Capitals, having had numerous close calls, close battles with teams like Paderborn or Heidenheim. Nothing that they're unfamiliar with. The count is 1-2. Sanchez with that very close, and he almost got hit again. The duck to avoid that one. And the runs to count full. Capitals have managed to get runners on base in almost every inning. But aside from the 3-run barrage in the first inning, they haven't played at anybody. Henry Jackson throws to Sanchez, and there's popped out of play. Jackson has performed well, even though he's had a bit of wildness from time to time. Capitals have not scored against him. Full count pitch comes. And Donnie Sanchez turned inside as if he was going to get hit, and instead he gets rung up. Oh. Surprised by that called third strike. That brings up the left fielder, Fildrick Llewellyn. Llewellyn also was hit by a pitch from Jackson. when Jackson entered the game in the 6th inning. And now Jackson is finding the strike zone consistently. Let's see if we can get a rally started here. Capitals, and there's strike 2 on a change up. Oh, and 2 to Llewellyn, who's falling behind. Sets up outside, and a curveball is outside. 1-2 count now. The Capitals fans have never really been in this game. Had that good first inning, but other than that, it's been fairly quiet. Also, the dugout has been fairly quiet. Of course, it's hard to tell when you're on top of the Flamingos dugout and they're chattering the whole time. But count now 2-2 to Llewellyn. Just battling back and made it even. Next pitch coming. Jackson throws. And Llewellyn fouled back. Three ball game. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. Heading to a dramatic conclusion. It's inside. Counts now 2-0. Big chance here for the Capitals. 1 out, runner on third base, Eric Brink. Takes another ball. Now 3-0. So, does Jackson really want to face Terrell Joyce? I'm sure there will be some action in the Flamingos bullpen by this time. 3-0 the count, 1 out. 1 runner on base. That's Fildrick Llewellyn, third, with the go-ahead run. And they're going to give it a walk. Oh. They're going to face Terrell Joyce, now the right fielder. Joyce with his 24 RBIs, looking to tack on at least 1 more. Jackson remains in the game. Eric Brink on first. See if he runs, although it's really not important. And there's a throw to first. Run on first base, not terribly important. Of course, if you can get more, but I'd question sending Eric Brink to steal. Maybe a hit and run. Jackson delivers. That one's in the dirt. Ball 1 to Terrell Joyce. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to try and pitch around him. They might be cautious, but to load the bases and then face Wilson Lee would be a tough call to make for Noir. Eric Brink leads off first. Llewellyn with a small lead. He's dancing a little bit along the line. And there's a ground ball in just Past third base foul. The count even at 1-1. Oh, a big eighth inning here. Blow the game open. Terrell Joyce gets an extra base hit. Home run, naturally. But a single is all they need. And there he hits one into the right center field gap. The right fielder is there. Llewellyn tags up, and he's going to score the go-ahead run on a sacrifice fly by Terrell Joyce. Oh, it's been a difficult journey, a long one, as they retake the lead 4-3 on a Terrell Joyce sacrifice fly. Now there are 2 outs. Wilson Lee comes to the plate, playing first base now. Eric Frank remains at first base. Wilson Lee has walked twice today, has a double, 2 RBIs. From the stretch, Eric Frank runs, and Wilson Lee fouls the ball back. So the miscue by the left fielder, Jamon, has proved to be the difference so far. Game not over yet. Wilson Lee waiting for the pitch. Eric Frank runs again, and Chongo Rivera drops the ball in his attempt to throw. Eric Frank gets a stolen base. Now a runner in scoring position yet again. Wilson Lee is down 0-2 in the count. 2 outs. Base hit would score Eric Frank, a speedy shortstop. Next pitch is low and outside. Ball 1. Going in the dirt. Stopped by Chongo Rivera. Wilson Lee awaits the pitch. Man, that one is... Chongo Rivera held his glove at the spot where he caught the ball for 2 or 3 seconds. Called the ball nevertheless, and the count is now full to Wilson Lee. With 2 outs, Plank will run on contact, most likely. Be unlikely if he didn't. Can't run on the pitch because he's on second base by himself. Nobody else, no other base runner. And that pitch is, and Himon gets under it and makes the catch this time. But not before the Capitals take the lead. Not the most beautiful way of doing it, considering one of it came on a miscue that allowed Llewellyn to reach second base, get a double. Nevertheless, a lead is a lead. It's 4-3, and we head in the ninth inning. This is Caps TV.
Wie gesagt, ich muss mal kurz auf die Uhr gucken. Ja, es ist immer noch morgen um 12 findet das zweite Spiel statt. 12, also Sonntag, Spiel 3 zwischen den Berlin Flamingos und den Bonn Capitals.
Looking at the batters due up in the ninth inning. It begins with Gabriel Tovar, the first baseman. Leads off. On deck will be Luis Sayol, scheduled, and Carlos Himon is in the hole. But we begin with Gabriel Tovar. He has 2 hits today. It's 2 for 4. And he needs to get on base if the Flamingos want to prolong this game. He hits a grounder to Daniel Sanchez with a beautiful play. Nice play on the short hop. The throw a little off target, but lots of time for Wilson Lee to catch it and tag first base. One pitch. Eric Blank still in the game. And he would be the pitcher of record here, would get the victory. It brings up Luis Sayol. Luis Sayol is 1 for 4 today with a single. No, sorry, 0 for 3 with a base on ball. Sorry. Fouls that one back, and Eric Blank still in command of his stuff. Four to 3 the score. Probably an unnecessarily close game. And there's strike 2. He gets ahead quickly on Sayol. Now the Capitals fans are making some noise. Sayol down in the count. 0-2. Delivers, and there is a single to left field. Sayol gets on base.
Single ins left field und damit Läufer auf der 1. Ein aus und Carlos Himon der nächste Mann am Schlag.
And Max Esteban has a single today. He's 1 for 4. And they're going to bring in a pinch runner. And the Flamingos with one out and barely got any contact. Got around on that pitch to hit it. There's another foul ball. So once again, Brank gets ahead on the count against Esteban. That's against Esteban. Oh, sorry. Strike 3. Struck him out. That's sorry. Oh, that was meant to be Himon. That was a pinch hitter. Strikes out. And now Esteban comes up. Eric Blank looking to seal the deal here. Runner on first base. 2 outs. Score is 4-3. It's the top of the 9th. Capitals look to secure this victory. And he goes with the hard heat. Esteban bites and swings. Strike 1. Oh and 1. Capitals fans making some noise. Next pitch, strike 2, as Esteban simply cannot catch up to the pitches from Eric Blank. And now, one strike away from getting the victory. Fans calling, let's go Eric. Pitch. And goes with the hard high heat again. Strike 3 on 3 pitches to Esteban. And that's the end of the game. The Capitals win 4-3, having scored in the bottom half of the 8th. The go-ahead and what turned out to be the winning run. Nevertheless, a good performance, you could say, for the Flamingos. They stayed in the game. They got out of a lot of difficult situations. The Capitals didn't capitalize on enough of these difficult situations. But a win is a win. We can be happy about that. In less than 14 hours, 13 and a half hours, second game this weekend will kick off. First pitch will be thrown. Angela, you gonna say anything?
Na, es war keine gute Leistung der Capitals, muss man ganz klar sagen. Und sie haben mit Glück gewonnen. Und na gut, ein Win ist ein Win. Und von daher mal gucken, wie es morgen läuft.
Ja.
Wir wünschen euch noch einen schönen Abend. Hat ja etwas länger gedauert hier heute.
Ja.
Aber
danke, Angela.
Danke, John.
Danke, Max.
Danke, Felix an der Kamera.
Alles Gute und bis morgen für euch.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Wir sagen, kommt gut nach Hause, gute Nacht, bis morgen um 12. Bis dahin alles Gute, wir sind raus. Tschüss zusammen.